The seventh tour of a seventh tour broke with Maiden tradition by starting on the North American continent. It took in the usual vast number of countries and also included headlining the legendary Donington Park Monsters of Rock Festival in the UK, the biggest ever, with Kiss, David Lee Roth and Guns N' Roses in supporting roles, the only band Kiss have ever supported.
The involvement in playing, say, in 1988 on the Seventh Sun Tour, where we played to 107,000 people at Donington, and regularly to audiences between 40 and 60,000 right across Europe. There are huge logistical problems, but one of the advantages in the later stages of Maiden is the fact we're always careful who we employed at the beginning.
The Seventh Son album went to number 1 in the UK and number 12 in the USA, gathering the usual plethora of gold and platinum along the way. 1989 was meant to be a rest year for Maiden, but Bruce and Adrian recorded solo albums, and Harry finished editing the video of 2 nights at Birmingham's NEC the previous year. This was titled Maiden England and was released to celebrate the group's 10th anniversary in November. A typically British party was thrown by EMI and Rod, with beer and fish and chips on the menu to trumpet the success of one of the greatest rock bands of all time. By 1990, the party was over and it was back to business, which meant a new album. After 7 years of stability, it also meant another personnel change. Adrian Smith decided to quit for his own reasons, which the band accepted. Luckily, in the blink of an eye, guitarist Yannick Gers, who had been with Gillan, leapt at the opportunity when Harry offered him the job. Recording commenced in Britain at Steve's own studio in Harlem, and the result? Songs with a more serious edge that dealt with AIDS and big business corruption. No Prayer for the Dying hit number 2 in the UK, and the single Holy Smoke reached number 3.
Believe in me, I said no money. I died on a cross. That ain't funny. But my so-called friends, they're making me a joke. They missed out what I said like I never spoke. They choose what they want to hear. Don't tell a lie, they just leave out the truth. As they're watching you die, they're saving the souls by taking your money. Flies around shits, bees around honey. Holy smoke, plenty bad preachers for the devil to stoke. Beat 'em in feet first, this is no joke. This is thirsty work, making holy smoke, yeah. Making holy smoke.
With the album hitting 17 in the States, the band set off on the No Prayer on the Road tour. They'd missed touring, and this time they also wanted to get back to the roots of metal. Not too much in the way of sets, just hard driving rock enhanced by the amazing energy of new boy Yannick. EMI released another track from the album in December, and Bring Your Daughter gave Maiden their first number 1 single in the UK.
Honey, it's getting close to midnight, and all the myths are still in town. True love and lipstick on your linen, bite the pillow, make no sound. If there's some living to be done, before your life becomes your tomb, you'd better know how in the wall. I'll chain your back door, invite me around. Bring your daughter to the slaughter. Let her go. Bring your daughter to the slaughter. Let her go.
Harry then took time out to record the Zeppelin classic Rock and Roll with tennis stars Pat Cash and John McEnroe. But now it was the 90s. The band and the management decided an image change was on the cards. Maiden's image? Surely not.
We've never been a fashion-conscious band. We're just, interested. We're very selfish, really. We just do what we want to do and the way we want to do it, and people, take it or leave it, really. If they don't like it, they have to lump it. We're very sort of stubborn like that.
It was Eddie's image they changed for the new album Fear of the Dark. A design by Melvin Grump was chosen, which depicted Eddie as a horrific green man, a twisted evil tree creature, The opening single was co-written by Yannick Jers and went straight to number 2 in Britain.
Cowboy sinners and dripping with guilt, making your money from slime and from filth, hiding your bellies in ivory towers, investing our lives in your schemes and your powers. You've got to watch them be quick or be dead. Snake eyes in heaven, the thieves in your head. You've got to watch them be quick or be dead. Snake eyes in heaven, the thief in your head. Be quick or be dead. Be quick, 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 or be dead, dead.
The critically acclaimed Fear of the Dark was Maiden's third number 1 album in the UK, and the tour of the same name continued to break records all around the world. Once again they played Donington, and the entire show was filmed for video release later that year, as was a live recording of several of the shows. With Eddie as a giant tree and the band on top form, the tour ended on November the 4th in Tokyo, and the band flew home.
I am a man who walks alone, and when I'm walking a dark road at night or strolling through the park, when the light begins to change, I sometimes feel a little strange, a little anxious when it's dark. Fear of the dark, fear of the dark. I have a constant fear that something's always near. Fear of the dark, fear of the dark. I have a phobia that someone's always there.
In March 1993, Bruce Dickinson decided his term with Maiden had run its full course, and he wanted to concentrate on his own career, which included writing bestsellers for the literary world as well as the music business. Fortunately, there was time now to regroup, and the group planned to release 2 live albums, one of later material and the other of vintage Maiden. The band advertised for a replacement and were predictably flooded with replies. Dickinson joined the rest of the band on the real live tour, ending up in Moscow for the first time in June. The Russians went berserk. Returning to the UK, Bruce bowed out on the pay-per-view Magic and Rock TV show Raising Hell, which was beamed all around the world.
Trace your way back 50 years to the glow of Dresden's blood and tears. In the back above by the cruel searchlight, men will die and men will find the iron. Who shot who and who fought first? Trapping death to wet the bloodthirst. No radar lock on skin and bone. All my boys are going home. Climb into the sky, never wander away. Tailgunner, you're a tailgunner. Climb into the sky, never wander away. Tailgunner, you're a tailgunner. Climb into the sky, never wander away. Tailgunner, you're a tailgunner. Climb into the sky, never wander away. Tailgunner, you're a tailgunner.
Now came the job of finding a new lead singer. In the end, he was right under their noses. Blaze Bayley, lead singer with Wolfsbane, who had worked with Maiden before, was the optimum choice. No matter how much new talent was out there, a band of the stature of Iron Maiden had to choose someone who was tried and tested, but Blaze still had to audition.
I thought I had a chance as much as anybody else because I'm quite a determined person. But I thought, oh, I'll never get it, because it's such a dream job. It's something that you think, well, no. So I was just relieved more than anything that all the anxiety and worry and think, will I get it? Won't I get it? What am I gonna, So I just, it was like, are you sure? Are you sure? You know, just to make sure, it's me, yeah? You've found the right person, you sure? And then I just spent about 3 days getting completely drunk and staying drunk.
So, with a new singer and a new producer, Nigel Green, with whom Steve Harris would share responsibility, Iron Maiden prepared a new album. It took a year, and because in a way it was a step into the unknown, Harry christened it The X Factor. It was released in October 1995. The X Factor tour started in Israel and later took in Maiden's first fully comprehensive Eastern European dates. By now, the album was top 10 in the UK, and world sales were confirming that the new lineup certainly wasn't an X Factor. After all the changes, it must be strange for Davy Murray to look back and reflect on the fact that he and Steve had outlasted a host of Maiden nights through the years.
I guess, Steve and I, there's something working in there as far, the chemistry between us. But when there's been other members coming into the band, we've always felt, we wanted to make it a complete band, not like a new member coming in, So we always try to keep it as a the focus on the whole group, on 5 members. But ultimately, I think, Steve is like the nucleus behind the whole thing.
No one could have put it better. Iron Maiden started with a dream, Steve's dream, and it all came true. Right now, the boys are working on yet another album and another tour to keep that legion of fans around the world, young and old, rocking and yelling for more.
It's never lost its sparkle for me. I mean, being out there in front of an audience that's really into everything you're doing, or pretty almost everything, I think is, you can't ask for better than that, really.
When you start to take a look within, do you feel at ease with what you see? Do you think you can have peace of mind and have self-belief or be satisfied? Do you even think you like yourself, or really think you could be someone else? Is there something that you'd rather be, never thought you'd be, had a chance to see? All my life I've run away. All my life I've tried to hide away. Feel the paranoia creeping in, like a cancer eating at the skin. Do you think you've lost your self-esteem and your self-respect?